Hi, welcome back, or welcome if you're new. Today's practice is a really quick practice for when you're feeling a bit overwhelmed. I highly recommend, if you can, practicing this outside. When we get into nature, it helps to calm our nervous system. Even if it's the middle of winter, if you can, put a lot of layers on, get outside. We'll only be out for a little while, so you shouldn't get too cold. But if it's not practical, of course, indoors is great. Just try and find yourself a comfortable environment, maybe light a candle, clear the space, so that you can really connect to yourself. When you're ready, hop on the mat and join me in this practice. So for this practice, if possible, you will need a bit of wall free, or a chair would do, or the sofa, the bed as well, if it's the right height, can also be another alternative. And if you have one, a bolster would be handy. If you don't have a bolster, a pile of pillows or cushions will do, but you can also practice the pose that we use this with without. If you have one though, go grab that now. Lovely. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to have a quick shakeout. Shaking is great for the nervous system. So when we're feeling overwhelmed, we can calm ourselves down really simply by a quick shake. So when you're ready, we'll start with the hands. So just shaking out through the hands. Let the wrists be nice and loose. Start to let that move up the arms, moving into the shoulders. Start to get the chest involved. Maybe start to bounce into the knees, using the weight from side to side. Let the shoulders shrug up and down. Maybe join the head in, using the head from side to side. Start to add the legs in, shaking one foot and then the other. And you can start to shake in whatever way feels good for you. You can move around your mat, around your space. You can start to bounce up and down a little bit. Just have a really good shake. This is always a good one if you want to put on some music. Find your favourite song and have a right good shake around. I highly recommend. It's an instant mood booster. Lovely. So we'll just do this for a couple more breaths. Maybe sighing that breath out as we go. Great. Last one. Lovely. And bringing yourself to a little bit of stillness. We'll take a nice full breath in. And then slowly breathing out, still through the nose. And again, full breath in, let the belly expand. And then out through the nose. And once more, big breath in. And then exhale through the nose. Lovely. We're going to come down onto our mats into tabletop position for cat-cow. Cat-cow is great for the vagus nerve, which often deals with a lot of our anxiety and that feeling of overwhelm. So when you're ready, wrists underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. We'll inhale to lift the gaze, send the heart forward. Exhale to round the back, belly button up towards the spine. So just move in time with your breathing. Inhale to come up. Exhale to round. Think about your heart center. Imagine with the inhale that heart center is opening out to the front, lifting it, sending it forward. And as you exhale, the heart centers open out through the back, lifting up towards the sky. And we'll just do a few more like this, nice and slowly. Move in time with your breathing. Great, last one. Lovely. And then we'll come back to a nice neutral spine. We're going to sit back onto the heels, coming into child's pose. Arms down by the sides, forehead resting on the mat. If you find child's pose uncomfortable for your knees, you can always use a bolster. Pop in the bolster between the legs so that you can sit down onto the bolster and round down, either forehead coming all the way down to the ground, or the bolster can be a little bit further ahead so you can rest the head down onto the bolster. And just tune into the breath here. Maybe even notice if you can feel your belly rising and falling against the thighs. Pay particular attention to your exhale. No need to do anything with it, just let your awareness settle onto the exhale. And we'll just take one more breath here. And then nice and slowly rolling up through the spine. Great. So then if you can, find yourself a bit of wall. If you don't have a wall, a chair will do. Anything that you can put your legs up against. We're gonna bring ourselves up towards the wall and bring the hips as close to the wall as you can get them. This takes a little bit of shuffling. So if you're using a chair or the sofa, again, just shuffle your hips up towards the edge of that chair or sofa. And then we're just gonna spin the feet round and let the hips rest up the wall. So you might need to wriggle along to try and get the sit bones towards the wall. I'm on a bit of a slope, so I'm sliding all the way back down. Great. So the closer you can get the sit bones, the better. And legs can go straight up, or you could always have a bend in the knees, feet resting on the wall. Again, if you're on the sofa or a chair, just rest the legs on top of the chair with the knees bent. And we're just gonna hang out here for a few breaths. Maybe let the eyes gently close. Bring the awareness in. Spend a moment just checking in with yourself. Without judgment or expectation, and try not to analyze. So you're probably here because you're feeling overwhelmed. That's okay. Just allow that to be as it is. Don't try and force a change. Don't try and understand the overwhelm. Just for now, let it be as it is in this moment. Allow your breath to guide you into that understanding, into that awareness. We'll just take one more breath here. If you have a bit more time, feel free to pause the video here and hang out here for a bit longer. It's a lovely pose. But then when you're ready, we're going to draw the knees in, maybe rock into one side. That's one of the best ways to get out. And then bringing yourself all the way up. You're then going to want to grab your bolster if you have a bolster. Pile of pillows would do if you have a pile of pillows. Whatever feels good. If you don't have anything that's suitable, then you can do this pose just lying back. So we're going to do reclining cobbler, soles of the feet together. Without a bolster, you can literally just lie back. Maybe arms up and overhead, maybe arms to the side, or hands resting on your center. If you do have a bolster or some equivalent, then you can grab your bolster, bring that to the base of the spine. Again, soles of the feet together and lying back onto your bolster. Hands either down by the sides, or they could rest on your center. Adjust this however you need to. Maybe put a pillow under your head to add a little bit more height. Use blocks under the bolster to bring it up a bit higher. Move this into whatever version you need it to be. And then again, let the eyes gently close. And bring the awareness in. Give yourself permission to slow down. Give yourself permission to be present in this moment. It seems like such a simple thing, but when our mind is racing, when we feel overwhelmed, being present can become harder than anything else. To be kind to yourself, practice ahimsa, non-violence. And don't worry if the overwhelm sneaks back in, if the mind wanders or races, that's okay. Allow it to happen, acknowledge it, and then see if you can just come back to the breath. Come back to the present moment. And if it feels okay, we're going to bring our left hand over our heart center, right hand over the belly. And just take a moment, breathing into the palms. Consciously send the breath into the palms, fully expanding the lungs. And then allowing the body to settle with the exhale. And we'll just take one more breath here. Again though, if you have more time, stay here and enjoy it. But if this is all you have time for, when you're ready, we're going to pop the hands under the legs to draw the knees back in. And then pop the hands under the head, bring the chin up towards the chest, and then roll yourself up to sitting. Great. Turning back around towards the top of the mat or bringing yourself to wherever's comfortable. Great. So I hope you enjoyed this practice and it helped to settle you a little. You can do any of these poses, these practices, whenever you need to. You don't need to do them all in the same sequence. Each of them is really good to help to relax you and calm the nervous system. So utilize them when you need to. Add them to the tools in your toolbox. I'll see you here again soon. Om Shanti.